Back on the football field. It's not your problem.
Down there? Down here? Now lay down. Lay down.
Okay, everybody can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, a little bit of an echo mark. Okay, good morning. We're gonna talk about, another facet of amateur radio. There's a lot of hams that actually like to do satellite contacts. They like to do the moon bounce, EME moon bounce. But what we're doing here, we're actually making contact with a moving object. The International Space Station, which is about 462 miles up, traveling at 17,500 miles an hour. Yeah, they're moving. And they don't always come over right over the top of us. Their angle changes at about a 22-degree each time they come make a pass. So they don't always make a pass over central part of the US. There is a way to track that, where you can actually go out and watch them coming right over the top. Well, another facet of that is to be able to talk to the astronauts up there. As of about 2 years ago, NASA really pushed this. They made sure that all of the astronauts going to the space station have an amateur radio license. And on occasions, before, we got lucky that we had 2 or 3. Right now, all of the astronauts on the space station are hams. That's a rare occurrence. That doesn't mean they're all racing to run in there and jump on a radio. They do their normal day-to-day tasks and projects, but they do have downtime. When they've got downtime, a lot of them go in there and get on the radio. It's not like going from your den to your hammer. They've actually got to go across 3 modules, which is not easy to do, to get where the ham gear is. They've moved it three or 4 different times for necessity of equipment they have. Right now, it resides in the Russian module. And they've got it nice and neat hooked to the wall with a laptop and a couple of radios. They've got an HT and a mobile unit hooked up in there, all mounted to the wall. And then they've got an apparatus that looks like part of a robot arm that they can actually put on, strap it on them like a backpack, run it down their arm and hold it like a handle and make contacts through their amateur radio while floating. They can actually do that with their arm. So that's kind of a neat feature. So what we'll do here is, this shot that you see here is a shot of Oklahoma City from the space station. That's what they see when they pass at night.
Wave.
I don't have a pointer, but you can point out, you can pick out certain spots on the map. Yeah. Interstate 40, 240. You kind of get an idea of what I'm shooting is right down over Oklahoma City. So you don't see Norman in that much down here.
There's the ESPN truck right there.
Yeah. But you can, that's what they see from space. That's the shot they get on a nice clear night when they fly over. So it's important that when you make contact with them, and I'll mention this a couple of times, tell them where you are. Because they're looking down from that when they're making contacts and they're saying, okay, I see you, as they go by. There's several frequencies that you want to put into a rig, an HT, when you're going to try to make contact. They've got a voice uplink. Now, what they do is they do like a crossband setup, crossband repeaters. you're familiar with crossband. They do a crossband setup where they've got one frequency uplink, it's VHF, 144.490. And then they got a downlink of 145.800. And you can put that in your HT on both of them. That way you can do the transmit up and then you can hear the receive down when they make their contact back. They do have a packet link set up, which is kind of interesting. If you want to do packet, you still have it set up for packet. It's 145.825, and that's worldwide, same frequency. And they do it, it's at a 1200 baud rate packet setup, so the old 1200 setup. And they still have that set up. UHF packet uplink and downlink, if you want to do it UHF, is 437.550. And this, you can get this off of the NASA website, the ISS. You want to get those frequencies. They have a repeater uplink. Now they actually set up about 2 years ago. They set up back about 4 years ago in 2020. They set up a repeater on the International Space Station. They brought that equipment up, set that up. It's 145.99 with a PL tone of 67. That's the uplink. Downlink is 437.800. And that's the repeater setup that they've used. So if you want to talk to another ham through a repeater, hit the International Space Station repeater. It's clear. A lot of people use it and make contacts all over the place, VHF, through their repeater. So that's what I call a very tall tower.
Yeah.
Okay. The radios that they're using on the space station right now is a Kenwood 710 GA, that's 2 meter 440. It's on the Columbus model, what they call the Columbus model. Each section of modules they've got them kind of named. The Kenwood, the other one they've got is a D710E. If you're familiar with that model, the Kenwood. It's 2 meter 7 centimeter module. It's pronounced Zaveda service module. That's another one of their modules. And like I said, all these are mounted to the wall, and they're set up to where they've got the rig mounted to the wall, and then they've got the front panel of that pulled off, and they just got stuck into the wall so they can see it. But
Or the floor or the ceiling, depending which way they're floating.
that's true. I mean, they don't actually have a floor or a ceiling. They have 4 sections in each module, and they can work those 4 sections. To them, there's no up, down, side, and side. But those radios, and I do understand they're on all the time. That they're just not necessarily there working, but they've got their normal day-to-day operations that they're doing. Now, one of the things, when you see them fly over, and I'll show you here in a minute, the programs that you can, the apps you can get on your phone, which work very well to tell you exactly when they're going to fly over your location. And you don't need a whole lot of sophisticated equipment to do it, really. I can tell you don't. The antennas they've got up there, they've got a cluster of 4 antennas in one section on one module. And on the back of one module, as you can see here, they've got an array of antennas sticking down and aimed towards basically there on that section. The antenna arrays, they've got, as you can see, around the module. So they can make different contacts no matter where they are in the world and how they're at their position. And they from time to time, they'll shift their position slightly and angle depending on where they are in the world. And sometimes they have to move due to small meteors and particles and debris and stuff that might come at them. They have to adjust their height and stuff, and so they'll change their angle. Every now and then, they have to send out an astronaut to do some maintenance work on them and make sure that the module, that the antenna array is working. But sometimes they get hit with debris and it messes up an antenna, or it tears it loose, or they've got an upgrade that you're gonna make to an antenna, because sometimes those do wear out on that. And so while they're out there doing the normal project to fix, do maintenance on the outside, they make adjustments to those antennas. The call signs that they use for the International Space Station when you want to talk to them. The Russian one, and some of you have heard it before if you've been in amateur radio a long time, is RS0ISS. The USA here in North America and South America, they use NA1SS. European, they have three different ones, as you can see up there. I won't read those off. You can read those on that. That's what the European countries use to make contact with the International Space Station when they want to talk to it, and they do all around the world. Like I said, you can get this information off of NASA website for the ISS. There's a lot of information you can get from them, and they update it constantly. They have been doing that now within the last year, which is a good thing. Software I was referring to, the apps I was referring to, if you're an Android user, ISS Detector is a great program. You can set that up. It's got a lot of features on it. It's free. I didn't leave out the iPhone folks. ISS Spotter is what you would get, and it's also free. And it is once you set it up and get comfortable with it, play with it, which you can do now, it will tell you the next when the next pass is, today, tomorrow, Monday. You want to do that, and it's not hard. Like I said, it's not hard to set that up and do the features on it. Once you bring it up, and then you can look at, you can actually see a map of the world, and you can see, you probably can't see on my phone from your distance there, but there's a red dot that says where you are. And then it shows the International Space Station on it, and it shows their track around the world. And if you follow the track, which you can move the map and see it, and follow their track, it will tell you when they're going to make the next pass. You can see one that's over Canada, and then maybe the next pass is up in the Dakotas, and then the next pass, and then you start to figure every 90 minutes they make a pass around the world. Every 90 minutes, they get a lot of sunrise and sunset in one day.
And frequent flyer miles.
Yeah. So you figure that every 90 minutes they're making a pass, so you can figure about when. You calculate when they're going to come back around and get close to you. Now, it also has what they call a green circle around your dot where you are. That says in that range, you can hear them and you can try to make contact with them. Just remember that the angle's further out. If they're 22 degrees further this way or even further out, the angle's harder to try to get them. But you want to try, anytime in that circle, you can try them. The times that I've actually made contact with them, and I've done it 6 times now, they were right over me. So that's generally the best time to try to catch them. You recognize this lady here, you've probably seen her in the news. She's one of the astronauts that technically, they don't want to say that, stranded on the ISS recently when the Boeing Starliner couldn't bring them home. She is not a rookie astronaut. She has been doing this since 2000. She was on several of the space shuttles. She actually helped set up amateur radio equipment on the space station. She is a avid amateur radio operator. And sometimes, from time to time, you can hear her talking on the people on the Earth, which is pretty cool. And right now, her and her partner, they are doing what they call maintenance update on the space station when they say that they're taking wires and cleaning up wires and changing wires and putting wire ties on it and making it look good and all that stuff. Plus they're doing a few science projects, but she has a lot of downtime. She doesn't have all those day-to-day operations like the other astronauts do. So she spends a lot of time on the radio. And you can hear her as she goes over, as she goes over, you can hear her talking to other hands. And she likes to do that. One of the ones that I actually make contact with is Doug Wheelock, KF5BOC. He loves to talk amateur radio. He's a big man. And he takes a lot of his downtime is actually to talk on the radio. That's what he likes to do. He likes to do all facets of amateur radio up there. One thing he's pushing for, and they've now got an antenna up there, but they don't have any equipment yet. It'd be interesting to see what they use. Is HF. They do not have an HF setup up there yet. It's all 2-meter 440 right now in packet. And they can't do SSTV, you know. But he was really pushing for them to get HF up there. And like I said, they have an antenna. They actually have it mounted now outside, but they don't have any gear yet. So I'm hoping he gets that passed with his superiors down there at NASA, that they can get HF up there. I don't know if that will affect their equipment on the station or not. They're working on the details on that. But I do have a way to send them an email and stuff and keep up with them to find out where they are on that. He's not currently on the station. He is rotating around where he will be going back up there the first of next year. When they in February, when they do a rotation again, he's hoping to get to go back up there. But this time he's hoping to take some more equipment with him. Now, I will tell you that hams of all ages actually make contact with the International Space Station, so you can't say it's hard. It's not, really. This is Isabella Payne. She's 8 years old. She's from England. That's her dad. He was her control operator back on August the 2nd at 22. She was 8 at the time. She made contact and is now officially the youngest person to make contact with the International Space Station. That's a big feat. Is she a ham? She's a ham. What she want to do? She wants to be an astronaut.
Yes.
She wants to be a science. She wants to be one of the science specialists on the space station. So that's a big deal. And if she can do it, anybody can do it. You can get a QSO card if you like to still get those. You can get those from after making contact with the ISS. Through the NASA website, they have a deal where you can actually write down who you talk to, and you can actually. Okay, you can actually you could actually put your information in there, and it usually takes about 4 or 5 weeks before you get a card. But you can get a card that you can say, hey, I made contact with them. And they have some pretty neat cards. Sometimes they do it with the astronauts that you talk to. Sometimes they do it just showing the International Space Station. But you can get that. I would say that when you make contact with them, keep in mind that in this area, when I say Oklahoma City, Moore, Norman, you make it, you only have, they say total time is 10 minutes, it's 8 minutes from here. Because you have what they refer to as a 30-degree angle, west to east, on either side, that you have a zone that you can actually make contact. Because the way the terrain is here, you can only pick them up to at about 30 degrees from the horizon. And that's about 8 minutes. So when you make calls to them, your call sign, trying to call them, when you're making talk with them, give them your name, give them your location. That way they can say, okay, they're here. That's what we're hearing from. Give them a signal report, let them know how they're sounding to you, because they'll tell you the same. Thank the astronaut for making the contact with you. And tell them 73s and have a safe trip. And you got about 8 minutes, but you gotta get that in. Because they're moving along. And before I ask if there's any questions, I want to show you. Bofang UB5R. They're about 25 bucks now. This is a tape measure antenna. Project kit that was done a while back with the club. Simple to make. At the time, when we did these at the time before, they were about 10 bucks. They're a little higher now.
20.
They're 20 now. But hey, this little setup, all you gotta do, turn your radio on and set it where your top frequency is your uplink, bottom frequency is your downlink. You know where they're coming over, say they're coming southwest to northeast. Aim that antenna over there, and you start making your contact. N5AZQ, N5AZQ. You may have to say it twice. You start following them. And as you're talking with them, you just keep moving your antenna. Now, one thing you're going to hear, and I'm going to bring this up, it's kind of a technical issue, but I'm going to try to explain it, that you're hearing them as they're coming over, they sound like they're a little off frequency. Well, they are. Because it's what we refer to, and some hands will understand this, some won't, is a Doppler shift. And a Doppler shift is basically where you're changing the angle of horizon and it goes up and then it comes down, back again. So what you do when you're setting your uplink frequency, and it's 144.49, 30 degrees here, figure 3.5 kilohertz change per angle. And you can just kind of figure it. If you're watching it on a clock, you figure it like at 10, noon, 2, 4. And you figure that. And if you want to put in the different frequencies that are slightly off from that, so it sounds clear and keep switching, you can do that if you want to stay right on it. You don't have to. I don't. But if you want to do that, you can set those frequencies in your radio so you're right on frequency with them, because it will change a little bit, and they know that. But you just follow them across the sky until you're done. And then you're done. Now, if you want to try again in 90 minutes, if they were, say this was Canada behind me and South America down here, and they just come over, and then at 90 minutes from now, 22-degree angle, they're going to be over here. They're not going to be right above me. So you could do that if you want to try to track them again. Some do, some don't. I do it one time, basically when they come over. I'm happy to make, contact with them. There's a lot of hams out there wanting to make contact that's in our area. So I like to get in and make a contact, and then somebody else will try to do it, like that might live down in Dibble. And they get a little better angle than I would, say, southeast Oklahoma City. But this simple setup, you can get one that's expensive antenna. They call it an arrow antenna. It's got 2 meter 440. It's got a grip handle. It's real nice. And I think the last I seen they were $140 some. If you want to get a real, expensive antenna, you don't have to. This will do it. Simple antenna, simple radio, simple 2 meter radio. You don't mean you need more than 5 watts. Considering the height that they are, that's not a problem. You can use pretty much any HT radio. Make sure that you have the proper adapter to hook on for your antenna hooked on. You have to put an adapter in there to get this cable hooked up, depending on what you put on there. Some put BNC, some put SMA, some put, whatever type connector you have on your antenna. Couple of things.
Orientations, antenna make any difference?
No, I played with it by whether or not I actually did this way or this way, didn't make any difference. I tend to do it this way, I don't know why, it works. And then I just follow it like this all over. You can try it this way, but I've never had a problem doing it this way here. On that, that's a good question. When I mentioned the antennas, see if I can go back to. When I mentioned the antennas, they've got an antenna cluster up there of four antennas in one group. They have a big base that's mounted, and then they got an antenna at 4 different posts. 3 of the antennas are just standard 2-meter 440 antennas up there. One of them is actually, like I said, it's the new one. It's 8 foot long, vertical, for HF. They put that in now. But they don't, like I said, they got cable run and it's running to the module, but they don't have any equipment yet. They took down one of the 2-meter 440s and they stuck the HF at that spot. But they do have antennas, pretty much on various modules around it. Now, one thing you'll note up here, like I said, you see the radio equipment mounted to the wall, and he's just using the microphone on that. I don't have a picture, I couldn't find a picture of the one that was showing you where they have it attached to the arm. But any questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
does their repeater put out a voice or code either?
No. They never put that in yet. I would figure they'll eventually do that. They'll put it in, but they're going around the earth and they're using different call signs where they are around the earth. So I figured that's probably why they hadn't done it yet. They may just put something on there that just says it's the ISS. They can't really do NA1 ISS because that's us. And they can't do the RS0 SS because that's Russia. So on that, for that repeater, so because they're traveling, every 90 minutes around the earth. So I figured that they'll eventually put something on there that says this thing.
That's pretty easy, over there in range.
Yeah,
You hear right.
yeah.
Oh, you'll hear it.
You'll hear it.
It'll be live.
Yeah.
Somebody will have it keyed up.
Any other questions on the space station? Like I said, it's not a hard thing to do. It's really easy to make contact with them. You just get comfortable, like I said, use your app on your phone and set it up to where it tones you. So when it tones, it's 5 minutes before they're right over you. And that way you can, if nothing else, if first time you want to go out and just watch their movement across the sky, you go out and watch them fly over and you'll see how fast they're moving. And like I said, if you count it, you're only going to get about 8 minutes. And in a range, like I said, in range like that. Yes?
You can also get them to text you, NASA will send you a text when it's coming over.
They will do that as well. If you want them to do that, you can set that up if you want a text from them. Since they come over quite frequently, the app works pretty good. I mean, you hear the tone, you go, okay, they're coming over. I don't have time right now to go out and do that. It only tones once. I'll let you know. It tones when it'll tone when it's in that range. And then I've also got one set up where it lets you know that it's 5 minutes from being directly over you. Any other questions?
That the picture on the screen is Scott Miller, W5 EDM was a new ham, and he put that up as a vertical at his house. And he didn't know any better. He only had his license for 45 days. So he set that up and brand new ham. His first contact was an astronaut. out in space.
No, cool. That is cool.
Yeah, it is. And he's like, what, what do you mean? And so we got a bunch of hams that never done it before, and you do it as your first thing out of the box. That's another antenna you can use. It does not take much directionality, anymore. The story is back in the day, the 1975 day, the air, when the Russians and the US had the joint station up there, that all our hams locally had these super parabolic rotating polarity, left polarity stuff, and they couldn't hear squat. But somebody left their talkie on a chair, and the talkie started talking while they were adjusting the radios. So it's you know, it's something you need to go do. I think it's really cool that Mark's done a bunch of these. And it'd be fun to go chase that down, but it doesn't take a bunch. This is w5nor.org/ISS. We'll get you there, and we'll put Mark's stuff with this as well.
Mark, how do you set up the tone?
The tone on your phone,
Yes,
it's just a beep. It just go beep.
how do you set it up there?
There's a setting in that app. Yeah, there's the 3 bars at the top. Click on that, go to the settings, and then go in and just activate that to where it has a feature on there. You just check it. It says for 5 minutes, and before it's over your current location, it will tone and let you know that. And you just have to turn on that feature. Yeah.
Just select.
Select the times that you can do. I do it for 5 minutes. You, like he was showing on that one, you can do it 1 minute to like 30 minutes. I do it for 5 minutes because, you know, if I'm gonna do it and I've got my gear and everything and that, most of mine, I made it to the house. I just stood out in my driveway and made contact. So it's not that, like I said, and from where I live, which is southeast Oklahoma City, the terrain that I have, I'm getting it at about 35-40 degrees angle. When I'm catching southwest and northeast, most of the time I catch them southwest and northeast. There is occasions I'll catch them west to east, but not very often. And I do get one from time to time from northwest to southeast. But it's not hard to, like I said, you follow the app, you can say, okay, I see which direction they're coming in from. I'll go out and be ready for that, for the angle. Any other questions? Yeah. Do what? Say? I can't hear you.
Wow.
You're not, well, here's the thing. You would know by your app that they're over you. I've never actually gone out, be honest with you, I've never gone out and done it when it was cloudy. I don't really honestly expect you or not. I like to be able to see them when I'm trying to make contact.
They won't see you wave.
Aw.
Keep in mind they're like I said, when you give your location, if it's clear, they're gonna see a shot like that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool that they can do that. But I've never tried it clouded. All the contacts I made is when it was clear night out there. Yes.
One way you guys can help, like, is a lot of the schools do programs out of their STEM programs that will bring a bunch of kids together. They'll contact the ISS sometimes, like I did, we make arrangements for NASA to get all this done. And as it goes over, they'll talk to the kids. And you as a ham could help set that up because they don't have equipment.
Mark has before.
Yeah, we did that because Tecumseh High School did that during the pandemic, which made it difficult. But we had nine students that went through and did that same thing, and it was so cool.
Yeah, I did it long color twice.
Yep.
Kids love it.
Yeah, well, the old farts really loved it. We were all going, "This is cool," and the kids are like, "Well, can't you just call them?" Kids. But yeah, that is great. We need to get somebody involved in that. But on the website K5THS, we did a thing a couple years ago. It was during height of the pandemic, but it's kind of weird seeing a huge auditorium with nobody in it. But it was fun.
Any other questions? Yeah.
On the voucher shift you were talking about, like, well, be like 3.5 up, 3.5 up, and 3.5 down, 3.5 down.
Yes, exactly. And you can program all those frequencies in ahead of time and just stand there, and as you move to kind of visual, figure, 10, noon, 2, 4. And then as you do that, you can just hit your button on your radio and go to the next frequency that you've got it set up to do that. If you want to be precise and be right with them, you can do that. They know you're going to be slightly off because you're tracking them across the sky. And that doesn't seem to bother them, and you hear them just fine. It's not like it's garbled or anything. You hear them fine, but you can tell it's just slightly off. And I've never done the Doppler shift. I just left it on the frequency and ran across, because I know I've got, like I said, I got that small window to talk on it. I don't want to be messing with the radio while I'm trying to talk with it.
Let me see if I understand this right. According to Mark, the other Mark here, you could actually sit your hand with an omnidirectional, and all you have to do is vehicle at 3.5 up, 3.5 up, and 3.5 down, 3.5 down.
Exactly.
You don't have to have your direction.
Right. You can. I just like to do it with that, where I'm actually watching it go by instead of doing it in the house.
If you're high over top. They're below 30, probably.
I mean, if you were high on a ridge, like Mount Scott or something, you could probably get them closer to the horizon. But where we live down here, 30 degrees to 30 degrees is about reasonable. Any other questions?
We had, just for reference, we had, for this group, K5THS, we had about a 30-foot tower with 22 element beam that we were picking up from 12 degrees to 12 degrees. So if you just get up a little bit over the trees, if you really want to be gung ho, you can hear them coming in and you can hear them going out.
And did you say their output was 35 watt?
Do what?
What did you say their output was, 35 watt?
25.
25.
High power.
Yeah, they're not using high power on the space station. They don't need it. They can do it with, as Ed would put it, they can do it with a half a watt. I mean, at the height they are and they're set up, theirs is not the issue. Yours is the issue. And down here, since they can hear you as high as they are, 5 watts or 5 watts or less, it's not a big deal.
Probably a stupid question, but what about sunspots and sunbursts and stuff? I know Mark did something about that a couple months ago.
Yeah, so far, I haven't had any issues with it.
Only thing, if the noise floor is up, you'll take a better signal to get there. You're straight shot, so there's nothing. No
I mean, when
problems.
you're looking at them and they're straight over you, there's not much there to interfere. I mean,
Wait.
yeah, no, well, the sun's on the other side at that time. I mean,
Well,
and,
may not necessarily.
well, I'm just saying,
11:30 tomorrow is the next run, 11:20 or something.
Yeah.
Get your talkies out, listen.
any more questions? Okay. Well, thank you, appreciate it.
All right, let's take a 5-minute break. So that means 10:17. That clock's not right.
Oh, no wonder. No wonder.
Okay, Mark, the room's muted.
Okay, okay.
Mark, N5AZQ.
Todd, KK0IKD.
Yes.
N5AZQ. Billy, K5BWH.
Yes.
Alan, N5ABS.
Page KG5LXP. Sir.
It's daughter, unfortunately.
For who, him or you?
So.
Got it.
Maybe, maybe not. It's cool.
Well, she's waiting for that payment today class.
Ah. It don't work in a day. But you learn.
Galen, WX5M1. David, K5QMF. Randy, K5, that's Mike, K5ASF.
Martin, KJ5,
Barry, KJ5,
You remember your call,
B6
soon to be back.
David, K5R.
On KG5GW.
Al, 85L.
Yeah, K8WT.
Jump back to John.
Jonathan W5JW. David, KD5SRX.
Rick, AI5
Ethan, K5ITR.
They, never inspect 5 generals. Barry, W5LA.
I'm Rodney, KF5UZA, and online we have Steve, Carl, Mike, Gwendolyn, David. I think that's it. So welcome all. Let's have a brief moment of silence for the hands that we have lost in the past month or so. Thank you. Secretary's minutes.
All right, last month we had 38 members in person and 8 via Zoom. Did a moment of silence for all the silent keys. Treasurer's report was read by Larry. The club's not going to purchase tables at hand fist anymore to limit our liability to paying sales tax on anything sold and save some money. And the club's going to be able to process credit card payments for dues at club meetings going forward as a convenience to the members. BE report, Cam Holiday had 5 new technicians and 2 upgrades to general. Our regular test session had 3 new technicians. Core and ARRL, Cam Holiday had over 5,500 people attend. Jim Duffy is tapped to be the banquet speaker for next year. Panorama's October 26th in Ardmore. Enid Hamfest was September 14th last weekend. Corey's going to sponsor a group winter field day at the Oklahoma Military Center at Northwest 36 and I-35. Aries, the Oklahoma City, or the city of Oklahoma City will sponsor anyone with an Oklahoma address to do Oxycom courses. New business, September's club meeting was moved to today. Proposed net in memory of Phil Sennett was discussed to start up on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. As far as UHF repeater, we had a program from Net Control Operations by Mark Kleine, and then announcements overnight every Tuesday, 6:30 to 9 here at the fire station. New Norman EOC opened on August 22nd. OU Air Festival's next weekend, September 28th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the airport here.
Oh,
Norman Emergency Preparedness event was last weekend. All ham dinner was this past week. And the meeting ended at 11 a week.
Thank you. Our treasurer's report.
As we are on the downside of the hill on the year, new memberships are down, which is not a surprise and not a problem. And everybody, for the most part, that's an active member have paid, we're just getting a few new members here and there. So we spent out $24, more than what we put in. So we got, $2,003 in checking, 24,109 in savings, and 224 in petty cash. When we do credit cards in-house, it costs us about 66 cents versus 99 cents to do it online on the website. So it is cheaper to do it with the card reader here in at meetings, but feel free to do it either way when the year comes up, and we'll get you taken care of.
And we will take next year's dues. Just pay them.
And the neck.
Next item on the is technical committee and DE report. Great combination. From the technical committee, don't forget, everything's working fine, but this is tomorrow, the first day of fall. We have a front coming through, I believe, tomorrow, which also means you're starting to see the fall inversion season. There are people who will love that, like Denny, who does 2-meter sideband. And there are those who might not like it as much because we're going to hear Pryor a little more. Just always remember they hear us and we'll hear them. For the DE, Mark put the page up on there. At the September session, we had 4 testers applications. And
Mark, top job, there we are.
we have a Mark Sherwin, who I didn't see Mark this morning, is a new general. Jordan Kite and his family have all announced that he was the last one of them, I think, to get to technician. Justin is a new technician, and Thomas went from 0 to general in 1 session. Our next session is October 3rd here at the firehouse. So any questions or anything else, let us know. We'll glad to get you tested, and that's what you do. So you'll always tell you to study hard.
And we'll be testing at Amaranth.
There will be testing hammer October the 26th, I believe it starts at 11 a.m. So I will start rounding up some bees to make the drive to Ardmore. That's always a fun time. We do have, I think, 1 or 2 applicants already signed up. Thank you.
I assume Klein does not have a microphone.
No, I didn't bring a microphone today.
Supposedly I'm gonna do ARRL and all kinds of good stuff. Looks like our wonderful treasurer, our secretary Chris did all my reporting for me, because nothing's the same, which is great. Amarama is down in Ardmore, the 26th of October. Yes, we're doing Ham Holiday the next year in July, which is a good deal. We announced, Bob Meyer announced it last week, or last month, but we'll announce it again. He has obtained a stack of radios from a person that had some disabilities, and Jimmy Burgess. And he has stated that those radios, he would like to go to people with disabilities. He's not saying what type, whether it's vision or hearing or mental or whatever the stories may be. If you know somebody that has some disability that would benefit from having some VHF and HF radio equipment, let me know and we'll get you to Bob and make those over to you.
He's got a bunch of nice little gear that's up and running and all that stuff. Cora had the all ham dinner, and I think half of you were at the all ham dinner way up on Britain in May, Thursday night. We had 72 people there at that little pizza place. The fire department said the room could hold 55. Ha, we proved them wrong, didn't we? Yes, we did. So we made their night and had a lot of good folks involved. The IMSA folks were there talking about all the fun stuff we can do for Winter Field Day. If you're going to be a Winter Field Day person, or if you want to be a Winter Field Day person, let Mark or I know, and we'll remind you to go to the October Cora meeting, which is October 5th. Yeah, October 5th. And after that meeting, we're going to go to that location. It's at 36, it's the Oklahoma Military Department, 36 and just west of the train museum. And apparently a little bit west is the old Mabel Bassett Correction Center. So for those of you that are contained there for a while, you can go back home if you like. Oh, no, maybe nobody there. But it's gonna be in that area. The idea is to bring all of the clubs from the city together to do one Winter Field Day, since we've all done pretty much nothing recently. We're not gonna try to get that up and running this Cora event. November 11th, something happens, correct? Veterans Day. The good people of Midwest City who say Tinker is not in their backyard, Tinker is their backyard. Will be managing the logistics for their Veterans Parade in Midwest City. They say it's a huge event, 150 some floats with 5 staging areas. They need at least 20 volunteers with amateur radio licenses that could help them stage these vehicles. They've done it for years. They're just trying to stretch their legs and grab more people. So if you're interested in doing that, it's on the Cora webpage, or give me a call or a message. We'll get you to Leah Osi up in Mid-Del City, or Lohan can probably sign you up for me.
I just let Leah know.
You'll just let Leah know, which is what we all will probably do.
Yeah.
But it's, and you've done it before, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's great. It's a lot easier than the Liberty Fest one up in Edmond, so.
So it's not chaotic. It's a good learning thing for if you're starting up.
Right.
Get you started.
Get you started.
And they do have a net control, and everything, so it's a real net, it's, yeah, good.
It's a good thing. It's on 444.000 is the repeater that will be a UHF repeater. If the only thing holding you back is the UHF radio, let me know, we'll hook you up with the radio. What else you want? Anything else? Elmer Knight's still rocking and rolling. Mark wants to finish off the day with legislation. The ARRL is doing, you have your stuff. ARRL is doing a bill to try to get us some HOA access stuff. So this is an ARRL national event, and Mark's doing the area for the Texas Oklahoma stuff. So I'll pass it to you.
Okay, here's the thing, and I want to give you a little bit of a background on this. It's really important to, back at Ham Holiday, John Stratton called me up and pulled me over there, and he said, surprise, you have a new position. You're now the Assistant Director of Public Relations. Here's your project, start off. And grab him, grab Mark Kleine, the 2 of you are gonna do this. Last year, we tried to get, the ARRL tried to get legislation passed that allowed people who live in HOAs to have amateur radio antennas up at their house. I mean, you see satellite dishes up, you see old TV antennas up, you see weather stations up, you see all kinds of stuff up, but they won't let you put amateur radio antennas up. Well, this bill last year went through the Senate, passed 100%. Then it was sent to Congress, the House. Guess what? They changed their speaker and other things, and the bill got put on a stack of them and collected dust. Well, time ran out on it. So they had to reintroduce it this year. This time we're going to try a little different strategy. I've got letters from all the different representatives as well as the senators of our state. And my good buddy in North Texas, he's doing the same thing down in Texas. And this is going coast to coast. They're all doing it. that is for the sponsoring the bill, HR 4006, you can look it up. That simply states that they want to have a law passed, federal law passed, that amateur radio operators can put up antennas outside of their house within reason. Now, if you put up a tower, it's based on local city code and for regulations and where you live and stuff, you can only have them so high. You can't put up a 80-foot tower in your backyard.
Unless the city lets you.
Unless the city lets you. Most of the time it's 25 foot or less.
50 foot.
50 foot? Okay, 50 foot or less. So, and you know, if you put up a 50-foot tower, you need to make sure it's anchored and it doesn't look odd or anything, you know, try to work with them a little bit. And if it was to come down, you wouldn't want to take out your neighbor's house. Okay, anyway, I've got these letters, and what I'd like everybody to do that hasn't yet is get a letter. You can get it from your representative, you can get it from one of the senators, I don't care, or all of them. If you want to fill out one from each one of them, doesn't matter. And fill out these letters, and then we're collecting those, and he's collecting those, give to John Stratton, who's gonna present them to, you know, our senators and say, hey, let's see if we can get this passed in Washington this year. You know, let's see if we can at least get them to look at it. And if they'll look at it and pass it, and they'll get that passed and sent up and signed, then we don't have that issue anymore. And some people live out in the country, and that's nice, and they can put up whatever they want. Go ahead and fill one out. Think of your hams, your friends that live in town, that live in an HOA, that really want to do the same thing you get to do. So let's get them past this.
Who lives in an HOA? Okay, of your people, how would you like all of us to fill out one of these to help you guys out?
Yeah, exactly. So that's real important. We want to get this passed. So every letter we get lets them know there's another constituent out there for them. It's a ham that wants to get this passed, okay? So, and on that note, what I do want to mention, I asked at the all ham dinner the other night, how many clubs have an Elmer nut? Not a single ham raised their hand.
I did.
We've got in the state of Oklahoma, we've got one club that has an Elmer nut, ours. So we want to promote them. We want to really let everybody know, if you got a ham out there that you know is a ham that never goes to the function stuff, have it come down one night. Just have them come visit, have a cup of coffee, you know, sit down and chit chat for a minute. They're going to spread the word. And you talk to hams out there and you're on the radio, spread the word. Come see us at Elmer Nut. Mark and I are going to try to make an effort to get a lot of other clubs in the state to do that. You know what the big advantage of an Elmer Night is? You get new members. I've got a club that I showed Mark in Arkansas. So it was a club in Arkansas, but they're dying. The average age is 75.
Oh.
And the reason being is they're not events that you can go to. That's what we want to promote. We want to promote Elmer Night to do that, to get them in here.
Change the subject, but I already thought that the FCC would support a ham radio operator in an HOA subdivision.
No, this has to be, it's not on, they can support it, but there has to be a federal law that states that, you know.
I mean, you're talking about PRC 1, which is a national FCC legislative piece outside of an HOA. HOAs say, well, you're dumb enough to sign it, so leave us alone. This is trying to preempt those HOAs. So it's in a general population, yes. However,
Here again, at the HOA, I need to say about antennas. You gotta read the wording correctly, because I put a vertical up that says, as long as it doesn't go more than 3 feet above any existing part of your house, so you can do it. I put an antenna, but nobody's complained about it yet.
I think that's a big, yeah, that's the big deal, is most of them don't hear it on Oklahoma. I think they're all looking for TV guidance, is what they intend to do that. And as he just brought up, the guilty party back there found a $20 bill underneath the donut pile. So did we find it? I got it too. Okay, never mind. Thank you.
One other quick thing, and then I'll give this back to Roger. Next weekend is the Westheimer Airport, Max Westheimer Airport's air show. Their air festival. We do set up out there, we have for several years. Last year, we got a lot of people come by and inquired about amateur radio and inquired what we do and how we help the community. If you have time next Saturday morning, come down here and come to the festival, join us for that. Let people know how much you enjoy amateur radio and how much you like to play radio. And I think if we do these functions like that, it really lets the public know, we're not just crazy people out there on radios. But
Speak
we
for
do,
yourself.
we do help the community, and we want to show that, and we want to show them, if you have a special radio setup you want to display, we've got tables out here to do that, to show it all. All right, thanks.
Hey, before we put my play, what are the plans for having radio set up for the festival? Will there be a 2-meter rig set up or?
Out here to
Yeah.
Out here to Western, we've got one go box set up. We've got a couple of we've got an HF set up. We've got a 2-meter 440 set up. We don't have a digital setup yet. That'd be nice. You could do a digital. Somebody wants to set up a digital setup.
The reason I'm asking is that the library system is also having their touch truck event over at the fairgrounds. In that morning, which will probably with our big truck. So maybe we can find a way to communicate between the two.
There you go. And we can show people how it works, right? Communication connection. So, we can set up and do show them a WinLink setup. We can do all kinds of setups out here just to give the public an idea of what we do. Okay, thanks.
Okay, net reports. We're gonna start with David.
Uh-oh, I didn't do it.
For
It's your
6
notes.
and 10.
Good morning. 6-meter net, that is Monday night, 8 o'clock, 50.200 upper sideband. There's been probably, 10 to 15 folks show up. On Wednesday night, 10-meter, 28.445 upper sideband. That's also at 8 o'clock. And there's been about 10 or 12, somewhere in there.
I haven't done on the.
And come join us for that. Also, on Thursday night at 8 o'clock is the N5AZQ Memorial Net. The past couple weeks, since it started, we've been averaging about 13 to 15, somewhere in there. Please join us for that. It's on the SCARS UHF repeater, the same one that the Siren Net is on, at 8 o'clock p.m. Please join us for that if you can. We need more attendance on that. Thank you very much.
Who would like to do the Aries net? Thank you, Galen.
AriesNet Emergency Communications, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock on the 2-meter repeater. There's somewhere between 20 and 30 that regularly participate there. Remember, it's about emergency communications. And
Okay, now we're gonna go to Denny for the gossip and the MacNet.
Well, okey-doke. The gossip net is at Tuesday night, right after the Aries net, at 8 o'clock, 8:30, and of course on the repeater. And there've been 15 people or so are checking in on that one. On the MacNet, the one on in the mornings at 9 o'clock, there's been 35 to 40 checking in on that one. So there's a lot of folks like to get up early and talk on the radio. Anyhow, come up there and talk to us. We have a lot of fun, and And you get to say good morning to you for the morning run and good evening for the afternoon one. Anyhow, thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna do the siren net. It's always a debate, especially in Norman, when game day is here, if we're gonna have a net today. We will have a net today, so we do not know if Norman is testing, so if, Aubrey, you heard anything? Nope, we are all in the dark at the moment. I suspect Norman will not sound today because we've got game day and a large crowd since 8 o'clock this morning on campus. So I got a feeling they will not, but I don't know that. So other than that, we need some monitors from the city of Moore. Please, if you live in the city of Moore and you live near a siren, we would love to have some more people. I think we're down to one reliable reporter. Is about it. So
Galen chose that.
Galen hasn't been reliable lately. He's out of town, so he hadn't been there lately. But we'll get you today, right? Maybe. So other than that, it will be on as usual today, at noon. We'll be, love to hear you there. Okay, Galen has some more information for us.
So back on the topic of emergency communications, I got to spend a couple of days, a week ago up in Quapaw. If you don't know where that is, the easiest way to tell you is that the casino buildings are in Oklahoma, the parking lots in Kansas, and you get to Missouri exit 1 off of I-54. You can stand at the right spot on the property and be in all 3 states. But I was there for a regional communications exercise. There were 314 participants in this exercise, representing 29 states, and that is the more band. Thank you. Mark, go to Central States Communications Association. I don't know if there's any pictures or not. Okay. Anyway, so out of these, all these people, there were also about 40 or 50 communications vehicles there, similar to the command post that I took. The reason I'm telling you this is twofold. Number one, yes, it's a place for communications professionals, public safety communications professionals to, yeah, that's it. To practice, yeah, there's, that wasn't this year, but that's okay. You can see there's all the states that were represented there. But it gives us a place to practice for our communications unit leaders, our communication unit technicians, blah, 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 blah. And Oxcoms, by the way, Oxcom was a big deal in this year's exercise. There were at least 3 Oxcom trainees working out of my vehicle. So yes, amateur radio is a big deal among communications professionals. And the next thing is that the second day was all scenario based. Go back to pictures. Yeah, there's the communications rig out of St. Louis. It's a regional response asset up there. So the second day was an exercise, and the scenario started out that there's a semi on fire here a couple miles away, and oh, by the way, a bulldozer that was responding to that took out a fiber optic line that serves all of the cell phone service in the region. They took these things out of play immediately. How many people rely on texting? How many rely on your phone? How many rely on this to use your internet? Yeah, all that was out of play immediately. Now, fortunately, we had amateur radio on our truck, so we were able to do wind length, HF. We set up a buddy pole, 20-meter dipole, and very consistently hit a message server in La Plata County, Colorado, and probably could have hit others. That's the one we picked. We also had satellite based stuff on our trucks, so we were able to do 911 stuff out of the truck. So, amateur radio is important, emergency communication is important, but you have to have the training and you have to practice. So, again, that's my spiel.
and you can practice at the Midwest City Veterans Day Parade.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Okay, there is a lot of stuff going on.
Rodney,
What about DMR?
oh, DMR net.
I didn't see Lee. Who would like to talk about DMR?
Mark.
I don't know.
I'll do it. But DMR, that means 8:15 on Monday evenings, and you'll either hear the illustrious Mike Wood or Mark Kleine as your net controllers. And because last month we did I heard a great guy did a presentation on net control last month. I don't know who that guy was, but I heard it was good. If you want to become if you're wanting to become a net control operator, DMR would be a great place to start. It's an easy one to do. Get Mike or myself to get involved with that. But 8:15 on DMR Oklahoma 3140, statewide, and that's on your local DMR hotspot next to you. But one more addition. It is not firm yet, but there should be an Oxcom. Galen had the Oxcom word. There's a Oxcom supposed to be happening November 8th, 9th, 10th. Is what they're looking at doing. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you're interested in more training on that, that would be 8th, 9th, and 10th. And give me your name and I'll make sure you get involved in the process if you're wanting to do that kind of thing. I don't know any more details than what I just told you. I actually know one more, which is 2 of the instructors are coming from Arkansas. So, you better slow down your listening.
That's because right now we have exactly 2 certified or test book qualified Oxcoms in the state.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need more.
Yeah.
Getting ready to have 30. So there's one that simply doesn't also. Yeah.
Okay, also wanted to remind everybody about Norman Night Out on September 30th. Grizzle's gonna have a booth in the mall from, you say 12 to 5?
12 to 5.
And then that evening, out in the parking lot will be Norman Night Out. Then next month, October, the Weather Festival moved from the 12th to the 26th. So we will have our regular meeting on October 12th. Also, there is Fire Prevention Week, October 6th to the 12th. And Jamboree on the Air for the Boy Scouts, October 19th. And Hammerama for October 26th. That's a lot of stuff going on and lots of opportunities for everyone to be involved. Any other new business or other business to bring before us?
On that note, on the Panorama on the 26th of October in Ardmore, it's growing fast. If you want a table, if you're gonna clean out your closet or your garage or your shop building and bring some equipment, you want a table, see me. Because tables are going fast. We've already got 3/4 of them sold. And we're not even down to a month left. I mean, we're a little more than a month left. So come see me and I'll get you a table for Ardmore. It's gonna be a big hand fest. It really is. It's gonna be nice. And right now, I've got 11 vendors. So it's growing. Like Ham Holiday was real busy. This one's gonna be busy.
All right. Boomer Sooner. Apparently there's a game tonight.
What? It's not on TV, is it?
So our next meeting, don't forget, will be on October 12th. And we are adjourned. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks Mark for doing that presentation on the International Space Station.
Hey, are they gonna do the OU play-by-play in CW?
Yeah, you're net control.
Yeah, right.
Don't forget to come by and fill out one of those forms if you want to get your name in there to help get that built down. We're live here. We're doing a lot up here, so you want to be involved. Cool.
Tell everybody.
If you're bored, you want to go off with us.
Yeah, another lot, yeah.
I got three. Okay. I can handle it. Yeah, I can handle it. Well, what were you question? Before down your rabbit. No.
It's right here, even with my name. I want to make sure everybody knows it's in front of that.
Like for this. You set up. Yes. So it's an addition to class, so you get this whole thing on how to learn how to do things. The documentation. And the cool thing was that when Caitlin was. The idea is this next meeting. So. Right. And there is, I'm gonna try to.
You will eventually.
Yes, I will. Okay. You can also do the capital.
Right there on that neck. Right there on top of that neck.
Yeah. So, I mean.
You'll like your with the group. There's a date, and you go in that date and you'll park there.
I listened to the Aries game. Right off of, I didn't believe Sunday night.
This side of the road. I come back.
Park here, and you walk till you find it. Okay, that's what I need.
That's one.
I'll put it in female talk. You park here, go to the gate and walk till you find something.
You don't, you're the one being lost.
I bring the radio up where.
Right, that's why. Cause see, I was taught by, or go to that, second house, right, second house on the left, turn right. Right, go down, 5 blocks, not 4 miles. Right. The house with the yellow door, don't pass, if you see the house with the yellow door, you don't pass on. That's what I used to tell people.
You get the new castle, you're gone.
We could, we get people coming to clean their shit, they want a laundry mat, they really want. I tell them, okay, go to the light, go to the right, you go around the curve. If you get to the red light in the bar, you've gone too far, it's just before the bar. See, that's my girl. Yeah. I mean, it was just, it was like, it's called Biggie's right there. It's in a little small looking thing, right beside the bar.
What we do is we bring some trailers in there and we'll have stations set up and it'll be a
Oh,
people
okay.
to walk by and say, hey, thanks.
Oh, okay. Did you get did you get one of those, at the beginning of the year, the event calendar? Okay,
Well,
it was on there.
when's the airport thing start?
It runs from, 9 to 2, and we need people to come out there after 8 o'clock, start to help set up and stuff on it. So 8 to 2, anywhere.
They have food trucks out there. We get a lot of it. Did you run? Yeah. You're like that. It's on, the parking lot's on. It's part of the first day. Oh, you're in the park?
I'll sit there.
Do you want me to wait till January?
Well, October. This will be up to 36.
Yeah, see, I don't know what that is, that's why I need David.
I started, yeah. At 35.
Oh, sorry, right.
I'm sure we can.
If it goes past,
Oh, wait a minute. It's the end of December.
January.
So what I do is I go up.
I'll take, I know Cedar Road, now y'all call it class in 12, 24, it's all Cedar Road to me. I know that all the way up to 240, and I know to go to Rock Creek and come this way to get here. And,
Somebody, I'm sure.
I guess, but anywhere else,
The
anywhere
January
else,
meeting was like deals, but.
okay, anywhere else, I have to have somebody tell me how to go, or Dad's my.
The guy that can't see is your.
It's my navigator.
Right.
And believe it or not, I don't care where You're right. Okay, you turn left, not the next light, but the light. After
Now I can get it. Without the
But then it's out of you.
Then I tell it, so, right on the radio. Well, before I tell it to write the radio, I go into this.
So.
3 nights a week where she's working.
I'm frustrated.
Last of
We had no
Okay, so.
Each other.
I always.
Figured the,
I'll try and put up for now.
says it from Peter and Reno, that the UHF
Also.
and it pops up in the enterprise as part of the next 5 PCs.
Put 'em in the room.
Heard of, literally heard of conversation that one guy was talking on.
Yeah.
UHF, the other was in
We talked about that last night.
UHF.
Yes.
And, my wife said, they write cursive notes, they'll write a cursive note, and give it to the kids, and say, give it to so and so.
Right.
Like a foreign language.
My nephew, he's from 34, and they put him in person for him. I'm like.
Now the state made it.
How do you function? He goes, I don't. I said, but when he says, do your signature, he goes, I just print my name. I'm like, oh my, they can't read our documents, they can't read our documents, declaration.
We'll get that later, but, then I can change. I don't know where it's gonna be. I'll probably. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
So, 8, 9, 10, is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Well, kind of, sort of. It is right now.
So you have an understanding. Florida, pretty much Florida, come here. It's no way to.
They got these, one.
We got it.
It's between that,
There's like, instead of like 5 or 6.
There's 4 that will, saying, put your intent.
No.
You can do it.
You can do 100, 200, 700, 800. I think it's that way before the class. I'll get you this stuff.
Before the class.
Okay.
I'll get you.
Rob, you want to-
And I'm gonna get, well, you'll do those before, that will be, so you should like.
I don't, I'm sure this is actually, I don't have a radio. I have this summer.
That's not okay, you can't. No, you can't.
It's 4 and 5 versus the church.
Most of the A1s, sit down, live like
Okay.
You guys are far procedural. You guys are far.
the radios at work.
Procedural.
They have the regular radios.
Yes.
You write
And I'm on
it's less about technology, it's more about procedural.
Yes.
Yeah, all easier to started on the track first.
Right.
Could be fast, but you know, all the programming guides are good. There's another device that was
I know.
I saw something
this year.
We're looking for some scratch paper stuff. We've got a whole pile of these. Yeah, is it like, wow.
There's several. No.
Thank you. So that guy on a pole, I don't know, we do relevant.
It's
And, put that on the pole.
Oh, that's.
I can't see diddly anymore. Not feeling the Vegas and who's walking the street. I look at life like that, you do that. Oh.
What's yours? So.
My daughter wife.
That's okay.
We're waiting for the ham and bacon class. I've offered her the, Mark's book. She's more of a hands-on person, right? We're reading book. Whenever we get that ham and bacon class, she's up there. She's very interested in it.
About fire and ham, fire.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You spoke.
Mary me.
You gotta make sure it's handled.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Rolling this time
Oh, you were confused when you
Yeah,
say
you
me.
don't want-
This one is made by Mark Kleine, growing up high school. State award, it's small and Klein, or Klein and small, so you're a small man award. Oh, no.
That's all right, just a smaller yard.
You know what her call stands for?
And aren't eyes really long?
Our lot's not very big.
So the page,
Good, anything left which is very good. Another 25. We're doing is big balls, it's gonna be up. So, big part of it.
But we were doing our thing here. And
OG, we were not behind our
computer. So the public service said, hey, we want to involve.
We're not ready to do it on the east side of the house.
We want to kind of work with. Well, yeah, but.
Radio is gonna be in the corner of the living room, south side of the house.
They already know.
The east side of the house would have to go.
Let's make it clear.
And into the house.
So we're doing that. Well,
So, yeah.
There's
The house that grew up, but we had a base station CB. And you have, for the happening, Liberty, see, what we want to do. Top 10 of
What this is the job for the marathon.
Yes.
John Love?
Yeah.
About this call, about this watch?
Yeah.
But then, or to do something like that.
He's talking about
So,
But, you know, like,
yeah, so on the east side of my house.
Well, Dad wants me to give you.
More bell.
And they have some.
They sit on top.
And when his story,
That's
I'm already in it.
That's excellent.
I've been in 3 months.
I'm going out there, I did learn what he does, I've never seen that. So once I'm out there, I'm gonna go through like that, for here's what we're doing.
I'm just.
Then 15 years.
I was.
After that,
we can talk again.
Yeah,
sure.
Winds, I think we did dirty, about 115 miles an hour. I'd say them go out there.
So we're gonna be.
It gets really, you know, you have any more of those? But I'm getting some. I guess too much time to do. I understand you. Let me know when you. So hopefully.
Oh, it's a Lotus.
Absolutely.
Cute.
That's fine detail.
Right? It only took like an hour and a half. Yeah.
I want to get back.
Marvin?
Marvin.
Yeah.
Set up.
I love Marvin.
Oh, I do too. That gets mad when I turn on the cartoon.
Martin.
I have a catalog right there.
Oh, yeah.
Marvin and Pat.
Most of the content or MeTV came out with a new channel. It's on 30.7. It's all day long. 30.7.
We're out of here. We'll see.
They have a trouble. They're gonna go that much. You're gonna take that home. Get my gun.
That's where we're gonna go.
You guys on the date?
Yeah.
Like being the Bennett. We're gonna be walking through the Bennett Center. They got some neat stuff in there.
I know, we were there last year, we never got done.
We didn't go, but, not last year.
Gone there.
They have two of them pendulum rides. There that do this. Do like that. And the one, it goes upside down like that. This cat does not, I don't.
Not necessarily, you can have a race.
Fly all damn day.
No, I'm not.
Fly all day long. No bugs. Height.
Yeah, last year we was.
Ladders, roofs, mountains, plug it in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we wasn't even there like 45 minutes last year. We was inside the building. We were right there like 5 minutes before that. And then they shut the park. Okay, that's it. I know. Yeah, but, you know, like, we wouldn't even have 45 minutes to an hour. And
Well, many years ago, me, her dad, her brother, and her mom went from Ada to Six Flags in Arlington, Texas. We weren't there 30. And her mom's, I'm ready to go home. She bought all the damn tickets.
Yeah.
What? We went to Six Flags, we were only there a half an hour.
Yeah. I want to kill my husband. Oh, I bet.
Well, about.
Go sit out in the car there, we'll be walking around.
We spent like $300 on tickets for all of us.
Yeah, hold on. No, if you do that to me, I'm telling you to sit in the car.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sit in the freaking car.
There you go. Behave.
That's legit.
Okay, you know how to turn that around, let me know.
Let me get on this side.
That's over $1,000.
I got that why you laugh. My they said gas money. They hear his gas money. They go start. It's sold one. I said, here's your gas money. And you laugh.
I don't believe there.
Okay, but I said, here's your gas money. Right. You said, no, I got a cover. And so you did that. All I had left was free. And I said, you asked me if I were well, I assume so. I just sold all three. These three here. Okay, then we change out.
Yeah, the internet out there. Okay, perfect. We can look at any of those radios. The radio. Yes, the best. Like, I have a whole radio. I connect my radio to my phone, next to the internet. I am not technically.
Thinking about it. He said he's not, every time I have a question, they send me an email.
I'm the wrong guy. So the guy in the mirror, Rick.
Okay, there's 500.
He's the one that took.
I don't have any more.
Bookers up on it.
Computer count, it doesn't really that 5 stars. I don't have to read there.
Yeah, I think so.
So after I hit it, I said, I'm trying to get him to make it all work, right?
I'd say they did have like, I like color and I like it. I found that to be I'm asking dumb questions.
Sure, don't press it. And I started on it.
Well, the other guy,
You know, hey, you asked me about, Oklahoma, and that way I put this outside and just, I had a couple of pictures. Not know anything about it, but, and I was like, holy crap.
I want to get a kid so bad. And I don't know, but you need it. I looked at down there. Radio for it. And I had to pay up for that. Like $1,200. That's the one who told me you said that. 911.
I use the border.
Well, this room's almost like a paradise. Especially if the body needs to set up probably.
That $1,200 I have to pay up for. It's like, what's your job? And then I got your computer talk, computer screen, and.
You fit this.
There you go.
So that's.
Okay, hold on just a minute.
I actually burned that radio up. I wish I wanted another one. Well, you want the cooling. You can get the whole.
It's fine, you might. I'm sitting here listening.
So I just put that name up and then.
Roll it, 'cause I know exactly what it's saying.
I used to do that when I lived in Idaho, when Paul,
That's only.
we would cross the across the Snake River Bridge, Herring Bridge, Noble. There's a lot of dirt roads. My friend